Thanks for listening to Gossip with Celebrity, brought to you by Celebrity.com. This week we talk about the Royals and about Drake and Kendrick Lamar. We end with our weekly feature, The Comments of the Week. The photos, stories, and tweets we talk about can be found at Celebrity.com/podcast under episode 173. Hi, I'm Katie, the founder and editor of Celebrity.com, and I write as Celebrity.
And I'm Chandra. I'm the head writer for Celebrity, and I write as Kaiser.
So we were off for a month. I didn't mean to take a month off, but it just kind of happened that way. We took a week off, and then the next week I went to Florida to see my parents, and then I was sick and whatever, but it's fine now. I saw an alligator in Florida. I know that there are a dime a dozen there, but I still get excited when I see them. And I saw one.
How big?
People size.
Her?
Like 6 feet or something.
Ooh.
I saw it off a boardwalk, so it was pretty safe. And there are little alligator babies too.
I bet alligator babies are cute though.
I have a picture, but you have to really search to see the alligator baby. It's just like the size of your, it's like 3/4 the size of your hand, you know.
I don't fuck with alligators. I don't want to be around them. Yeah, I would think that alligator babies would be cute.
I mean, I understand why the old lore of people getting them and flushing down the toilet and in New York City. Remember that story? They used to go around because they do look cute. I'll put the photo in the post for this podcast. It's number 173. But yeah, you can't really see the babies. I'm overselling it, but it was fun to see that. And we have another picture in episode 82 where an alligator came to my mom's door. Like, that really happened. And it's weird because all these cookie cutter houses look the same and there's like street after street of them. But somehow the alligator came to their house, like, because there's so many to get their dog or something. That was fun. I did that. It was nice and warm. And yeah, you might hear in my voice, my allergies are bad. That's why I've been sick. My eyes are burning. It's terrible this time of year.
My eyes are starting to get itchy, but thankfully I haven't gotten sick yet. And then today, so my cat Dexter is fucking ancient. He is the oldest cat. And I keep thinking, like, this year especially, I keep thinking, like, is he losing his sight? Is he losing his hearing? Because he seems to get startled by me if I, like, walk into a room quickly.
Yeah.
And, like, he hasn't hunted in several years. And then all of a sudden, he's at my, like, office door with a chipmunk. What I thought was a dead chipmunk.
Aww.
He puts the chipmunk down. The chipmunk's on his back, and he's, like, twitching. And I'm like, ooh, this is gross.
Not good.
And,
no.
And Dexter starts screaming, like, come outside, Mom. Come see what I did. Come look at my kill. And then the chipmunk gets up and starts running.
Good for the chipmunk. He saw his opening and was out of there. Oh my gosh. And
then Dexter was just too old to keep up with him, I guess.
That thread on Twitter was riveting. You're like, oh my God, my dog has a dead chipmunk. My cat has a dead chipmunk. The chipmunk is alive and it ran away.
It was a whole short story, yeah. I didn't mean for it. I was like, Jesus Christ, I can't believe this old-ass cat killed another animal.
Good for your cat. It's bad. Cats are bad for wildlife, but sometimes I root for the cats.
Yeah, like, the birds have been going crazy this year. I'm like, go, Dexter, kill a fucking bird.
I know, people are going to hate on us for that shit.
No, these birds are wild this year. Yeah. This spring, the birds are practically dive bombing me.
Oh my gosh, I was out with my dog and a bird was dive bombing my dog.
Yeah.
For real, yeah. I guess it's because they're babies or whatever, but still. So I watched a bunch of shows. I watched Fallout on Amazon. I was surprised how good that was. It was excellent. I watched Files of the Unexplained on Netflix. That was good. It was really well balanced. And yeah, there were alien and UFO ones, okay? But it was really well done. And I'm watching this mystery horror show on MGM Plus. It's like an add-on for Amazon. It's called From, and it has Harold Perrineau in it. It's so good. It has Lost vibes. And it's about all these people stuck in this town, and these monsters come out at night, and them like banding together and trying to get out or, figure out a way to evade the monsters. It's excellent. I really like it. And I tweeted about it and Harold Perrineau retweeted me. So I was like, yay.
That happened to me once with HGTV. I was watching the New Kid on the Block show, Jonathan, what's his face?
Yeah.
And I was like, this show is great. I love this guy. And HGTV retweeted me.
Nice. Are you watching anything good? Have you seen anything over the... It's not a break.
I mean, just on a weekly level, I watch tennis, and Rafa is back. And is his last year on tour. And I don't know. He's winning some matches. He looks really old. But it's nice to see him enjoy his last year. And I watched The Idea of You, Anne Hathaway, and I have no idea how to pronounce that kid's name. Nicholas Galitzine, something like that.
Please welcome Nicholas Galitzine.
He was great, Nicholas. Okay. I was surprised at how much of the story hinged on their chemistry together. I came into it knowing it was going to be a romance. He was very good at grounding the romance and making it seem I understand why he would fall for her.
Yeah.
This boy band guy would fall for a 40-year-old divorcee.
Neat. I want to watch it.
But Anne was very good in it. She had those stupid fucking bangs throughout the entire movie. And they were so bad. It was you were this classy woman who knows everything about art, and you're having this very cool affair with a boy bander, and you have those fucking bangs. Please don't.
I really don't take bangs serious. The bang women are going to hate on us after this, which is fine, because they already do. They know what they're doing with us. But yeah.
I will die on this fucking hill. There is no reason for Anne's character to have bangs. Not for the area where she lives, her friends, all of that. None of that would have indicated that she would have, needed those bangs.
Yeah, it's rare to see good bangs. There was a woman next to me in the salon who was getting bangs, and she was giving me Casey Musgraves vibes, with her hair and style and everything. It looked pretty good on her at the hairdresser. You know what I'm saying? There's a big difference between what a hairdresser can do for your hair and what you can do at home.
For sure. And I think Casey Musgraves' hair is really cute.
Yeah, it looks good.
It's not really thick bangs or anything. It's just some fringe, some layers up to frame her face.
Yeah, it's not a full curtain bang flip over puffy thing.
Yeah, Anne had terrible fucking bangs in this movie. And they were distractingly bad. Yeah. And then I watched Dune 2, which I'm months late to, but I enjoyed that. I loved Dune 2. I love the first one though.
I haven't seen them yet. All right, let's talk about the Royals. So since we last recorded about a month ago, a lot has happened, but we haven't seen Kate since Christmas still.
Yeah, we haven't seen Kate at all.
It's really hard to talk about it. And honestly, that's part of the reason why I've been reluctant to do the podcast, because I don't know what to say. And we have to be careful about what we say about it, because we can't speculate. But what else can we do when we have nothing?
Yeah, and I think that's become the discussion too, is that they aren't giving us anything, not even just filler stories of, she's fine. Just say that, oh, she's fine. She's hanging out with the kids. She's getting treatment. How hard would that be? And they refuse. They refused even before the cancer video.
So the most we've heard that's like that is William was asked about Kate and the kids earlier this month, and he said, all doing well, thank you, we're all doing well.
Yeah. They didn't ask about him.
No, they asked about the kids too, but he always makes it about himself. And then a fashion designer who dresses the children, she said in an interview that she's heartbroken and, quote, I think they're going through hell. I hope they will be back. It's really personal. Does that mean she has any insider information? I don't know. Is she just going on the same line that we've all been fed about it? Probably. That's it. That's all we get.
Yeah. Other than she probably knows the nanny, which I thought was interesting.
Oh, okay. Because she works with the nanny Maria.
Uh-huh.
So maybe maybe she has some insider stuff, but you can't really tell from those quotes. And then you've been reporting about this. There's some hints about Kate's condition that are kind of deep inside other royal stories. Like they're not the headline and they kind of push them down to the side. They're secondary information. And it sounds like she's not doing well. So the Times reported on Prince Charles's visit to a cancer center on April 30th, so very end of April. And they included the detail that Kate is, quote, expected to be away from public duties for some time. That's it. So we've heard like platitudes. She's going to be away. Nothing. That's it.
And compare this past month to what we were hearing just before the cancer announcement video, which was Kate will be out for Easter Sunday. She's absolutely going to be out. She's doing fine. You know, we just saw her like speed walking through the Windsor Farm store. They were lying when they knew Kate had cancer, and they were like trying to like tell everyone that she was doing fine and that she was going to be seen soon. And don't worry, she'll be seen after Easter. And now like there's no timeline. Everything is open-ended. And I understand like she's being treated for something. Like that's the official story. She's being treated for something. She's focused on her recovery. But like they really need to give us updates, even if it's just very basic information of she's fine. She's still seeking treatment.
The way Charles's team handled it
Exactly.
is great. I mean, she doesn't need to be out and about like Charles is, although Charles is trying to shut out Harry, which we'll talk about in a minute. But, you know, they've issued measured updates. And this has just been this veil of secrecy that's very suspicious. So we're not hearing about Kate. We're not hearing about how brave she is in her battle. And they're centering William instead. He's on the cover of People magazine this week. And it's like a picture of him between Kate and Charles, you know, like cut and paste. And the title is William's Private Struggle. It's not private at all, and it's probably all BS. But the whole article is about how William is doing, and it centers William. And it's kind of disturbing that they would make this their official PR line and push it out.
Yeah, and I said that. I was like, I really feel unsettled between certain elements of the Times of London coverage and this People magazine cover story. The centering of William in the story and the absolute refusal of like palace insiders to say, you know, Kate's being very brave too. Kate's being very courageous for her children. Kate, you know, she's being very strong and brave. Why are you talking about William's private struggle? Isn't Kate the one being treated for cancer?
Yeah, there's nothing about her, what she's going through. There wasn't anything in the People story about her kids either. It was more like how William is helping the kids, not emotionally, just doing the school run or whatever. It really was outrageous that would be, like, even if it wouldn't be true that he's there for them as a father, as someone who's caring, as trying to make sure his wife's okay. It was more about how hard it is on him.
Yeah, exactly.
And nobody changed that strategy or told them that that's a bad PR strategy. Shouldn't you say center your wife and children? Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
And it came out just days after William went to a football game on his daughter's birthday and didn't take her.
Yes. There's another narrative about how William is dealing so well with this supposed online bullying of Kate. So they're rewriting history about all the bullshit that they put out. Like, it's verifiable that they put out a fake Franken photo, a video that was not even Kate walking outside the garden center. And then, you know, another video which may have been digitally altered, according to some people. So instead of owing up to that or just letting it blow over, they're trying to pretend like they're the victim of bullying. So
not they, William. That William is the victim.
Or Kate. So the Times piece about Charles that we mentioned earlier, it had this quote. This is the quote from that piece. I don't know how William managed to keep doing all of that, knowing what he was going through while the world was ridiculing and throwing shit at his wife while she was having chemotherapy. That speaks to his character, grit, and determination to go out there and do the job that is expected of him. He has taken most of it on the chin and got on with it. Like, he is not showing us this at all.
None.
And it's not true that everyone was ridiculing his wife. We were being like, okay, what happened to her? Like, how are they messing up this messaging around her condition so much?
And, they were throwing shit at his wife while she was having chemotherapy. We didn't know she was having chemotherapy because William and the palace were lying about it.
Yeah, up until the video announcement that dropped on a Friday night, after which there were tons of bots who came and told us that we were wrong for questioning it up until then, and how dare we, and aren't we ashamed now? That was their official line. It continues to be their official line.
Yeah. After all these lies, we're being criticized for saying, hey, this feels like a lie. And how many lies have already just stood out there without anyone really calling the palace out? Like the Windsor Farm Store video, which, the palace either organized or authorized.
The car videos, there were two different, the car photos. It's very sketch. I like how Christopher Boozy is just pointing it out. He continues to point it out.
It's really ridiculous. And as the story keeps going on and on for longer, is there ever going to be a reckoning for all of the lies being told, both big and small? They're still saying that William took that Mother's Day photo. They're still saying that Kate was the one who took these very recent, quote unquote, photos of her children for their birthdays. Yeah. No one believes that. And those lies are just sitting out there because I guess no one will question it. No one will push back on it.
It's pretty obvious and outrageous. And best case scenario, Kate is doing okay. She doesn't want to be seen for whatever reason. She'll come out on the other side of this. We're probably never going to get an explanation if that happens.
Well, here's my question. When do you think the international press will start to poke at the British media and the royal family again? Because that was what changed everything in March. The Where is Kate thing blew up internationally. That's when the British media got off their asses and started to do their fucking job.
And that's when they finally put out the cancer video.
Yeah. So when will that happen again? I think it might start happening if we don't get any sort of information or a sighting of Kate around Trooping the Color, which is mid-June.
Yeah, I would say so too. So it's been 4.5 months since we've seen her. So I guess 5.5 months,
Yeah, it would be about 6 full months before I think the international media would once again say, wait a second, where is Kate again?
People are really reluctant to call them out, and I think that's why there wasn't more analysis of the cancer video. That's all I'll say about that.
No, I agree.
Yeah. So the biggest news this week so far is that Harry went to the 10th year anniversary service for the Invictus Games at St. Paul's Cathedral in London on Wednesday. There was a huge crowd for him. He got a rock star reception, and his relatives on his mom's side were there. So the Earl Spencer, so that's Diana's brother, and then his aunts, Lady Jane Fellows and Lady Sarah McCorkadale, and then 3 of his cousins were there from the Spencer side again. And then none of the Windsors came out. And at the same time, they had a garden party. They haven't done shit for weeks, but they're going to throw a garden party at the same time of Harry's big event, because of course they are. And they look so petty and cheap.
Yeah.
To do that.
It was disgusting. And so the Invictus service has been on the schedule for 3 months. I looked it up to see when the palace usually starts their garden party season, and I was wrong. They do usually start around this time. They start in early and mid-May. So it is part of the season that, Charles was right to host a garden party around this time. Did he have to choose the exact date of Harry's Invictus service to...
Did he have to have his coronation on Archie's birthday?
Exactly. And again, so much of what Charles and William do, they're doing it for an audience of one. They're doing it specifically to get Harry's attention, to punish Harry, to make a point to Harry. And they don't understand how fucking ridiculous they look to everybody else. Why are you so fucking obsessed with Harry?
It's childish. It's so transparent and childish. So we heard that Harry requested to see Charles ahead of time, but that Charles was too busy. And Harry's spokesperson did confirm that Harry had asked to see his father, but that Quote, "It unfortunately will not be possible due to His Majesty's full program. The Duke, of course, is understanding of his father's diary of commitments and various other priorities and hopes to see him soon." That's it. It was very classy.
I thought it was gracious, polite.
Yeah.
And that pissed off Charles, and it pissed off his people, and it pissed off Camilla. And they have been briefing and leaking about Harry ever since.
And so then we heard that Richard Kay reported that there had been no formal request from either the king or his son to schedule a meeting. Okay, so Harry reached out to his dad. His dad said no, and they didn't take it any further, whatever. And then there was the suggestion that the meeting came through because Harry didn't want Camilla in the room when he met Charles. And you're saying this is kind of her payback.
Yeah. Another thing about the Richard Kay story is that he also revealed that Harry did not ask the palace for any sort of housing while he was there.
He knows.
That's different from when Harry visited in last September when he was there for like one night or 2 nights. He did request housing and he was turned down. So I guess Harry has just learned that he's not going to ask anymore. He's just going to stay in a hotel. And I'm very grateful that no one has exposed exactly where he's staying, but I hate the fact that the palace leaked that he did not ask them. Yeah. It was a warning shot. It really was. So yeah, I also believe that Harry probably said, "I'd love to meet with you, Dad, and I don't want Camilla in the room." And because that's what he got when he visited in February. He got 30 minutes alone in a room with his dad. And Camilla threw a fucking tantrum for a week afterwards about that, about not being in the room while Harry spoke to his father. She was leaking like crazy about it. She like ran straight to her Daily Mail contacts. She ran straight to that unhinged lunatic Petrona Wyatt or whatever her name is. And I think Camilla just shut it down completely. Camilla said, "No, you're not meeting with your son."
Yeah, she's like the evil stepmother personified, really.
Yeah.
And I'm sure she was instrumental in scheduling that garden party to coincide with Harry's Invictus ceremony so that they could be all busy and look like they had other things to do, even though all they do all the time is pay attention to Harry and respond to Harry. So they also announced a military honors event next week, and Charles is going to hand off this Colonel-in-Chief of the Army Air Corps title to William. And the thing is that the Army Air Corps was Harry's regiment when he served 2 tours in Afghanistan. That's his old regiment. It was announced like a year ago that Charles would give that to William. That was, of course, their little snub, like, "Oh, look, Harry, we're giving this to William." And now they're going to have this fakakta handover ceremony next week. And they had to tell us all about it, like right before Harry's big Invictus event.
Yep. And they were just scrambling to find some way to publicly snub him and make him mad. And again, they were just trying to get a reaction from Harry. They were just trying to punish him. They were just trying to be sadists to Harry. And they don't understand how fucking ridiculous they look.
They do look bad. I mean, it's so obvious what they're doing, and especially to us because we follow it.
I cannot imagine a father doing that to his adult son, like year after year after year, being that obsessed with publicly punishing his adult son.
I hope Harry writes another book with all this shit in it.
I mean, I would read the shit out of that.
We all would. It would be another international bestseller. With the top sellers of the year. He should. What the hell?
And that was one of the most shocking things about Spare was how easy he went on his dad.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. Like, he loved his dad.
Yeah, he just loved his dad. He still loves his dad. I mean, that's what really does hurt, is that Charles is just such a dog shit father, and that he's so manipulative and he's so weak. And he has this good son who loves him so much, and he can't connect to Harry anymore because of Camilla. But because Charles is also just a dog shit person.
Yeah, he's a bad person. So we have to mention that the Sussexes were invited to Nigeria by the Nigerian government in a visit that's going to happen sometime in May.
No, it's going to happen now. They're going to arrive in Nigeria tomorrow, I think.
Are you shitting me?
Yeah, they just made an announcement a couple of hours ago. I was going to write it up for tomorrow.
Oh, that's why. Okay. So
So yeah, Megan is flying probably as we speak, as we're recording this on Thursday.
Okay, so Nigeria is a Commonwealth country, so this is a slap in the face. They love the Sussexes, and the British envoy in Nigeria admitted that he had no idea about the visit. He didn't arrange any of the details. He's not involved in scheduling. I'm so happy for them. I'm really looking forward to that. We're going to get lots of pictures. I bet Megan's going to look beautiful in like gorgeous neutral outfits, and I'm excited.
I mean, I hope that we get photos. There's like some talk about which media outlets are going to be allowed in.
Oh, because the British outlets aren't allowed in. Good.
Yeah, I don't think the British outlets are going to be allowed anywhere near them. I think that's probably one of the Sussex's prerequisites for visiting Nigeria. But we'll see. I was surprised by how much coverage and how many photos there were of the polo thing in Florida a few weeks.
Oh my God, they look so beautiful. They're fucking supermodels, the pair of them. They're such a gorgeous couple. All right, so this week has been really good for gossip, for Royals gossip, and one of the most interesting stories this week was the Drake and Kendrick Lamar beef and all the music that the pair of them dropped and all the details. And we are not trying to vulture the rap community, and we don't really know that much about it, so I'll let you explain it. So I have a very superficial understanding of this.
I'm not coming to this as any sort of rap expert. I'm not even a music expert. I just like good music, and I know good music when I hear it. And Kendrick Lamar is good music. He's good people.
Yeah, he's talented, and we know gossip. We
know gossip
as professional gossips.
We are professional gossips. We fucking love the tea, and Kendrick Lamar is giving us some tea. Oh, it's so good. So I'm not going to go into like, oh, then this drop happened, then this song happened. Like,
we'll link the backstory that you wrote, which is really thorough, in the post for this podcast. It's number 173.
Yeah. So basically, Drake was trying to bait BBL Drizzy. He was trying to he was trying to bait Kendrick for months, basically. BBL Drizzy. BBL Drizzy.
I'll see if I can play that clip. If it's not copywritten, I'll put it in here. BBL Drizzy. BBL
Drizzy. He was trying to bait Kendrick for months, and Kendrick wasn't biting because Kendrick is a real fucking artist. He is a genius. He is doing the heavy work of creating genius level music. He's writing music about the Black experience, about patriarchy, about toxic masculinity. And here's Champagne Poppy, trying to BBL Drizzy. He's like, play with me, Kendrick. Come and beef with me. And Kendrick ignored him for as long as he could. And finally, Kendrick was like, all right, fine. I'm going to spend a week on this shit. I would think that Kendrick probably recorded 4 or 5 tracks, probably all in a row. And he starts dropping them. And Euphoria is basically just a massive warning. He's like, I know a lot about you, Drake. If we can get as personal as you want to, but I already know all of your moves. He's already talking about how much he fucking despises Drake. BBL Drizzy. And
Drake
talk
about the BBL Drizzy thing because I just learned this story. Okay.
Should we do the side note of what is the backstory?
We have to go into the BBL because I just learned it. My kid explained it to me. All right. So Rick Ross said that Drake had a Brazilian butt lift, right? And there's a song called BBL Drizzy by just a little bob by King Willonius, and then. And
Metro Boomin. Yeah, Metro Boomin, he played around with it. He edited it. And then Metro Boomin absolutely fucking hates BBL Drizzy as well. And so he created this BBL Drizzy challenge where he just put...
Oh, okay.
He put this music online and he said, you guys have fun with it. Play around with this however you want. I'll declare the winner and whoever is the winner gets a free beat. And people have just been going like crazy. But like the hook is crazy addictive. Like everyone has this earworm in their heads now of like BBL Drizzy.
BBL Drizzy. BBL Drizzy.
There are many earworms in this feud. Getting back to Kendrick. Yeah.
All right. So
when he dropped Not Like Us, everyone was like, okay, this game is over. It's over.
Well, I thought it was over with. So BBL Drizzy dropped Family Matters, which he got super personal about Kendrick and his situation with his probably still on, maybe kind of off partner Whitney. And within an hour, Kendrick dropped Meet the Grams, which eviscerated Drake.
Yeah.
Eviscerated Drake for not spending time with his son Adonis, for hiding another child.
To his son, and like,
yeah,
oh my God, it was brutal.
It was so brutal. And like, he addressed this message to Drake's mother and his father, and like talking about Drake's Ozempic and his surgeries, BBL Drizzy, and and like, I already wrote something about Meet the Grams because I thought this is a total fucking evisceration. This is like Pusha T all over again. And then not even 24 hours later, and I think in those 22-hour period, Kendrick was just living in the studio and like recording Not Like Us because he had so many references to Family Matters and all the shit that Drake was trying to say about him. So Kendrick puts that out Saturday night. It's like fucking crack. It is so good. And everyone just keeps listening to it and like finding new pieces of it. It is such an earworm. Oh God, it's good. I have not listened to anything else other than Not Like Us all week.
It's a great song. My favorite line, everyone's favorite line, is trying to strike a chord, and it's probably A minor.
Yeah.
But also the reaction videos. There's so many reaction videos. I saw a master cut of different reaction clips on Twitter. If I can find it again, I'll put it in the podcast for this post. Everyone's like, oh, it is so good.
And like, talk about lore. Like, there's so much backstory to almost everything that Kendrick is mentioning and talking about in this. Like, the verse where he's just dissecting Drake's moves in Atlanta, like, there's no coming back from that at all. Like, he called him a fucking colonizer, and he showed him the evidence of, you know, you use, I don't know, Quavo for this, you use Future for this. But like, I loved that he name dropped Serena, because Drake has needed to take Serena's name out of his fucking mouth for years. It's disgusting. And Drake and Serena used to be friends. They used to be close. And now he will not shut up about like how Alexis Ohanian is a groupie and like all this bullshit. And it's just because Serena married someone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after that, Drake he couldn't leave it. He should have just stepped away. He released The Heart Part 6. And I have to say, musically, it's not bad for Drake. Like, it's not even close to being on Kendrick's level, but I was like, okay, this is okay. It's pretty good.
No, it's really bad, Katie.
Well, the lyrics are terrible. The music
lyrically,
is not
I think
the lyrics he just tells on himself.
It is so,
he just tells on himself over and over again.
Yeah.
It's the argument a lot of criminals use. Like, if I did this, they would have already caught me. I couldn't have done this because I'm famous. That's basically his argument. I'm saying musically, it's like, okay, it's not terrible. I can listen to it. That's all.
No, it's really bad. I think The Heart Part 6 is so bad that it actually negates everything Drake had done towards Kendrick before that. No, because BBL Drizzy, he reveals that he doesn't understand Kendrick's lyrics.
Okay.
He's not smart enough to understand what Kendrick was talking about in Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. Like, Kendrick was talking about his own journey away from like generational trauma and like how his mother thought he had been molested, but he wasn't. And then Drake is like, oh, you think I'm a pedophile because you were molested. Oh my God, Drake. BBL Drizzy is fucking stupid.
And that's a low way to look at it, and it's a misunderstanding. Yeah. But this whole feud has been very fun to watch. It's resulted in some great music. And I mean, unfortunately, it looks like there's violence happening. There was a shooting at Drake's house in Toronto. One of his bodyguards got shot. I don't know what's going on there, but I hope no one's going to get murdered over whatever. And it could be some totally other thing because everybody hates Drake. And that's what came out during this feud too. I saw a TikTok video explaining it very quickly, but he has feuds with almost everybody in his industry.
Yeah. I'm just going to give my opinion. I have no idea if I'm correct. Drake is not right. That's what we would say in the South. Drake is not right. That's why he grooms teenage girls, because grown women understand that he's not right and he can't handle grown women. And I think his peers, his colleagues, they understand it too, or they've started to understand that the way he operates is not good. It's not like there's something wrong with him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Everything that Kendrick has done has reinforced something else, which is that Megan Thee Stallion's hiss was almost entirely about Drake. Like, Nicki Minaj put her fucking hand up and said that, you know, this and this was about Nicki Minaj. It wasn't. I am almost positive that the Stallion wrote that entire fucking song about Drake. BBL Drizzy. And she was talking about his lipo scars in that song too.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's move on to the comments of the week.
My comment of the week is from PaddingtonJr. in the story about Prince Harry carried himself like a king at the Invictus anniversary service. PaddingtonJr. wrote, Earl Spencer is messy, but the fact that he shows up for Harry gives him a lot of points in my book. The Spencers have shown Harry the love and support Diana would have given him. I agree with that. And I agree that the Earl Spencer is messy, but the Earl Spencer loves Harry and shows up for Harry, and that counts for a lot.
It does. It was nice to see his cousins there too, and his aunts, and the Winters are so mad.
Oh yeah, they are. Sorry, I was just thinking about how messy Charles Spencer really is. He is. Like, he doesn't always show up for his own children, but he does show up for Harry.
Yeah, that's good. So my comments of the week are from your post about Robert Kennedy Jr. admitting that a worm ate part of his brain and then died up there.
Between this and BBL.
You cannot make this up. So it's a bunch of comments. I'm just saying them because they're funny. Mrs. Fonzie Face said, wow, nightmare food right there. And Kay said, yes, for the worm. Oh my God. Ewan said, the poor worm died of malnutrition due to subpar diet. So I was thinking, I Googled to see if he's ever touted ivermectin, right? So ivermectin kills parasites. That it's what it's for. So he was on the Joe Rogan show talking about ivermectin. Maybe he took that for COVID and it incidentally killed the worm in his brain. So that was a good thing. So maybe it was good for something.
No, I don't think that that was the series of events, though. Like, I'm not to be like pedantic about it, but
go for it. How do you think the worm in JFK Jr.'s brain died? Because
this whole story about like the worm in his brain eating his brain, it comes from 2012.
Oh, okay.
It came from a deposition from like his divorce or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And like the New York Times just found it just now. So like in 2012, he was already saying that like the worm died.
Okay. guy, he came out with his anti-vax shit in the early 2000s. I saw him speak in about, I think it was 2001 in New York City at a small venue. And he was talking about the potential for terrorists to attack nuclear facilities and about how nuclear facilities weren't cleaned up properly or something, because it was part of his environmental work with river keepers. And he was impressive to me then. But then, you know, he got that worm and...
Yeah. I remember when he used to, like, just show up on Larry King Live. He was kind of wacky sometimes. And you could tell that, like, he didn't have a lot to do with the Kennedy family.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he used to be somewhat eloquent. Not anymore.
Like, I emailed you that. The worm explains a lot, but yeah. All right. Well, thanks for listening, bitches.
Thanks for listening, bitches. BBL. Fade out. BBL.
Thank you for listening to the Celebrity Podcast. Please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen. If you like us, please turn off your ad blocker when you visit our site. You can text us or leave a voicemail at 434-218-3219. Our music is from AA Alto, Maiden, and via Premium Beat and Sound of Picture. Thanks again.